Hey y'all, so it's me, Victoria, and I'm back here in Atlanta. I graduated, I got my master's, you know what I'm saying? And if you watched my last video, you know I am well on my way to getting ready to go to Cambridge University in the United Kingdom to assist with their forensic science research. It's only a days away from June, in which is June 1st is when I'm actually supposed to be there or whatever. And I'm still sitting here like,
is this real? Is this life? You know, little girl from College Park, is she really going to Cambridge?
you know what I'm saying? Like, it really is still trying to set in with me. You know what I'm saying? So I came here today, you guys, to talk to you about how I am coming from here and going all the way over there to what some would consider one of the
most elite institutions in the world.
Just to help with some research, you know? And basically, if I can start from the beginning, I was in class and my professor, and he would assign these reading assignments, and I noticed that there was one prominent individual who was a reoccurring author on a lot of these reading assignments. So then from there, I decided to read some of his other work, and I was like, wow, he is pretty much the expert in the field, you know what I'm saying? He knows what he's talking about. So me being who I am, I will email anybody. I think that's really important for students to do, to reach out to these individuals. They're not just works that have been written and they're just objects. No, they're authors who you can contact about it. So I decided to email him. And, you know, from there, I established a networking relationship, if you will. And I think that's so important for students and aspiring professionals to do, even if you're not in academia. If you see somebody who you admire, try to contact them. And so that's what I did. And I went to conferences and I, you know, met some of his students and networked and what have you. And I think that's so important. And it can be as simple as,
hey, I read your article. I like the point that you made about XYZ. Have you considered this? Da da da. And, you know, boom, send it.
or, you know, there are going to be times where you read articles that you don't necessarily agree with and you're wondering, like,
What the hell is this person talking about? Like, what the?
You can simply send an email that says something to the effect of,
Hey, read your research. I'm just curious as to what led you to, what was your motive? Have you considered this alternative hypothesis?
you know, and just establishing a relationship and a connection with this person, even though you may have not agreed with what their conclusion was, because it's all about, you know, like I said, establishing that network. You know, a lot of us who are aspiring professionals, students, what have you, a lot of us wonder, like, you know, we see these individuals up here and we're down here and we're wondering, like, how do we get from point A to point Z, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody really fully gives you the steps in between A, B, C, D, E, F, G to get all the way to Z. So you have to really, like, put yourself out there. And for me, I don't think I've ever explicitly asked somebody, hey, I want you to be my mentor. It's just been a, hey, I'm emailing you, or hey, I met you at a conference, let's stay in contact, here's my business card. And y'all know I used to be one of them people like,
Business cards are so bad for the environment and they're gonna be out of style and blah 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 blah. Like, no,
a lot of these old school professionals respect the business card. So I gave the business card or whatever. From there, you just establish a relationship and you ask questions. People love to talk about themselves, especially people who are in science, and just, you know, this is their chance for them to feel like they're a rock star and they're famous or whatever. So they like to talk about themselves and talk about their experience. It also makes them feel good and like a pat on the back for them to be able to help somebody else and to feel that their work is influential. So you just really, you don't ask them to be your mentor. You just kind of just talk to them. You can't be afraid to take some of that initiative and just put yourself out there. And I know some of you are wondering,
But Victoria, you know, sometimes these professors be busy and they just don't get back to me.
well, guys, I mean, you have to think about it, okay? A lot of professors are busy. You know, as a student, you get 1 million emails, right? So imagine being a professor, they get like 2 million or whatever. But what you have to do, 2 million emails, ugh. But anyways, well, what you have to realize is that there's multiple ways to get to Rome, as I always say. So if you can't get in through the professor, then remember that a professor might have an assistant, or the professor might have students. So when you go on these websites and you're talking to people, look at see who else is there. You know how we we were treated back in the day as people of color. If you can't go in the front door, you go in the back door and you go in the side door. And what in particular really happened with me and this professor that I'm getting ready to work with, he was like, oh, Victoria, you know, I'm gonna pass you to my PhD student. From there, I interviewed with the PhD students via Skype, started a relationship with them, to which they were able to vouch for me and say, hey, we want to bring Victoria on board. Which, you know, it's often how it goes sometimes. Or you reach out to the assistant's probably like, oh, you know, this student reached out to me and blah, 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 and they want to work with you. So you really have to find your way in any way you can find your way in, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm trying to make sure I talked about everything I want to talk about. Taking initiative, emailing people. You don't have to explicitly ask somebody to be your mentor. Sometimes if you can't get the direct answer for them, you have to go around to the side or the back door. And, you know, you just have to be willing to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to network. I mean, it's no real big secret, but it is like a major key. And, you know, people will look at me like, oh my God, you did such amazing. I am, honestly, for me personally too, and I think that works really well in my favor, is that I'm a much better writer than I am an orator. So I will write anybody via email and say, hey, yo, your work was dope. Did you think about this? Or would you consider this? Or I would love to get your feedback on this. Or I'm thinking about this, and da da da. So you have to be willing to contact people. You have to be willing to email people. You have to be willing to send your CV out to people. Okay, make sure you get that in shape too. You know what I'm saying? And just network, guys. Anyway, so I am gonna be vlogging and stuff when I get to Cambridge, and I'm gonna let y'all know how that go too. Okay, all right, bye.